This form just straight hands, boy, and feet. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again, and today we are here for Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 23, and we got the debut of a brand new form in this episode, which she just kind of whipped up out of nowhere. We got foreshadowing of 2 new forms that are gonna come in the next episode, and we got some paws put on Cluto, and yeah. And this episode basically starts off from last week's episode was showing Valivar taking out Cluto and the Liger. I got that wrong in the last episode. It was actually a Liger Kimi. He ends up destroying both of them, and seeing how Cluto ended up still taking both the Kimis and making herself evolve even further. So they end up trying to fight her off, but she kind of beats everybody, and well, not beat everybody, but she kind of gets a good lick in on everybody, and she basically decides to leave herself. So Ichinose does want to go after her, but Kudo basically says that, hey, I know you worried about it, but we gotta handle Suken Vampire right now. So we see that they go up to Suken Vampire, and he finds out, and you know, he wants to just use his power to make everybody happy. We see this big like heart that he's pulsing into the sky, and it reminded me a lot of Kingdom Hearts. But like my boy was out here destroying Heartless and adding them to Kingdom Hearts. But we see that he was using this heart. He said that with this heart he's gonna pulse his power throughout the entire world and make everyone happy. So they tell him that, like, oh, you really don't know what your power does. And I'm just like, how are you a Kimi and you really like don't see like the aftermath, like what your power actually does? Like, he doesn't know that his power actually, like, you know, sucks away people's like life force. He doesn't know that. Every time he does the Suken, it seems, you know, he takes away some people's life force, and he didn't know that about his own power, which was weird to me. We get a little bit of backstory with him too, and him how he met this specific girl that was in the crowd, the girl with the glasses. Yeah, it turns out he met her after she got dumped, essentially, and he basically gave her some encouraging words and things like that. He did end up using his power on her, and that's how she was, you know, start to fall in love with him. So he has like a mental breakdown from his power, you know, hurting people and things like that, and he was like, I just want to make everybody happy, woo. So we see that he decides not to do it, and we see the heart in the sky starts to break, and once it starts to break, that's when Cluto comes in, and she said, hey, don't give up your power, hey, don't give up your dreams just yet. And she chains him up. When she chains him up, she forcibly makes him use his power to start the heart up. Once the heart is, you know, basically the heart starts to start up again, they're basically sucking all the power out of him. They try to basically stop him. When they start to stop him, we see that Ichinose basically gives him like a pep talk, saying that, hey, you might not have known what your power does, but at the same time you still wanted to do something good and wanted to make people happy and things like that. So like, don't give up on trying to make people happy. And he ends up breaking himself out of the chains. And that's when we see Kudo like peed off, because she doesn't like how like Cluto is doing things, and she transforms. But when she transforms, she ends up using the Cerberus Kimi and the Moon Kimi and creating a brand new form called Kamen Rider Majid Moon Cerberus. And this form looks cool, and she goes in and starts putting the paws on Cluto. She's beating the crap out of this girl. She even takes a page out of Jeremy's mom's book and does that air kick. She basically makes like a big crescent moon on the ground, and it forces Cluto up, which basically, like, I guess it like defies gravity, and she goes up, she kicks her, and basically they kind of took her out with it. Not take her out, but it hurts her really bad. And after that, we end up seeing Ichinose is like, hey, since she gonna be great, I'm be great too. So he ends up transforming into his X-Rex form, and he ends up using he ends up using Sukin Vampire after after they reconcile, after they patch things up and stuff. He ends up using Sukin Vampire and uses his ability to where he slashes Cluto, and Cluto ends up all the Kimis that are inside of her try to break out of her because they've fallen in love with Sukin Vampire. So that gives them the perfect time to like she can't move at this point because the Kimis are trying to leave her body, and that's when Kudo ends up using her rider kick. But her rider kick is freaking dope. Her rider kick is basically a bicycle kick, and she starts to rapidly kick Cluto away, and then that's when we see Ichinose transform into Gotchard Fire, and he transforms and he does his rider kick, and we get a double rider kick and end up defeating Cluto and getting all the Kimis back. When they get all the Kimis back, they ended up basically going back to the place and everything, reconciling, everybody talking with each other, stuff like that. And then we end up seeing Cluto go back to the base, and we see that Grion isn't all that mad with her, but she's just like, he looks at the screens, like, they're watching everything. He looks at the screens and he's like, the next time we're going to take everything away from them. And he's looking very, very hard at Ichinose, saying that he's basically like the key that's putting everything together. And that's when Grion basically tells Autotropes to give the Dread Driver back to Minato after he took it from him because he kept failing. So they end up giving the Dread Driver back to him, and we see that Autotrope says that they ended up cloning Unicorn. They end up cloning the Unicorn Kimi and basically making like the Dark Unicorn Kimi and giving him that. So now we're going to see Dread's new form or attachment in the next episode, and also a brand new form for Ichinose, like a brand new ultimate form. He basically has like a whole new attachment for it. Like next episode, it seems like Dread is going to take all the Kimis away, and Ichinose won't be able to transform. He most likely will only have Hopper. That's his boy. But yeah, we also saw that the girl that Sukin Vampire was helping out, turns out her ex-boyfriend comes up to her and tries to get back together with her, and this guy looks toxic. He looks super toxic. He looks like a heartbreaker and didn't care about you. So he said, hey, I kind of dumped you. Ain't no girls out here cuter than you, so you want to get back together? And she's looking at the flower that Sukin basically gave her, and she's like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. And then she ends up breaking up with him and walking away with a smile and everything like that. And I was just like, yeah, you go, girl. And the episode basically ends off right there. This episode was actually nice. Majority of this episode was fighting. It really was. It seems like they were just trying to wrap up this whole Sukin Vampire thing. Seems like Sukin Vampire is going to be a reoccurring character now that he's with everyone, and it seems like he's still kind of using his Sukin powers. He's still able to use his Sukin power. He ended up using his Sukin power on Hopper, things like that. So it seems like this guy is going to be a reoccurring character, since he's like the only Kimi that has like a human form, a humanoid looking form. So it seems like we're going to see this guy a lot. We're going to see this guy more, depending on the situation. But this episode was cool. Still don't know what Grion is really planning like that. He was only basically in one scene, but we know that his next plan is going to be taking all the Kimis away and things like that. And this looks like it's going to be very detrimental to our team. But we're going to get a brand new form out of it anyway, and a brand new form for Minato that looks pretty cool too. I mean, it's just like a silver, like a metallic silver, attachment that goes on his right side. But it looks cool. I mean, I can't wait to see how that's gonna go. But yeah, this episode, it was fast. They got everything done pretty quickly. Got a new form from Kudo on this Moon Cerberus. I do like this form. Seems like in this form she's more physical fighting. It's a lot of punches, it's a lot of kicks and things like that. Other than Sun Unicorn, it was mostly like, it was like majestic kind of movements, but this is straight up just hands. But hands and feet really. But yeah, guys, this episode was cool. I like the animation. Everything was fine. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Kamen Rider Gotchard. But I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, as I always say, stay henshined.